Hi there, Jessica here from MyTransgenderNation. Welcome back. So today I'm going to sort of rehash the year and then also talk about people of my age who have gone or are going through a transition and how different it is for us compared to the younger people that are going through it nowadays. And what inspired me to do this was I was reading a blog post from a transgender person who pretty much, I think, is more of a cross-dresser. I'm hoping to interview this person in the new year so I can understand her better. But she was talking about pretty much about cross-dressing more than anything. But she started off her post where she was talking about how she grew up and how she didn't think as a child that wearing women's clothes, that there was anything wrong with that. And it got me thinking about the younger generation and how the world that they are growing up in compared to the world that I and people of my age grew up in, how different that whole thing is and how that really changes things for people. So I'm going to give you a feel for what I perceive the younger people are going through based on what I read, what I watch on videos. To them, this is like, I don't know, a kid in the candy store almost. There is not the stigma that we grew up with for them. Now, granted, it's not all, roses, but for the most part, it is not considered wrong to think about wearing women's clothes. It's not considered wrong to want to be a girl for the most part. It's a lot more, for a lack of a better way of putting it, it's more widely accepted. And that is not true for my generation at all. The other thing is that because the world is awake about this, that at a much younger age, people are able to come to terms with themselves and be able to start much, much earlier, which really changes so many things. Oh my God, I think about if I had been able to transition back as a teenager, if the world was built back then as it is today, I guarantee you I never would have made it out of my teenage years as a male. It just wouldn't have happened. I was brought up that having all these feelings are absolutely taboo, that you shouldn't do it, that it was wrong, that there was something wrong with you if you felt that way. Now, there are forces in the world today that, have that same opinion still, but that's not the main, There are plenty of opportunities for people to educate themselves, to find communities where they are accepted and allow them to be who they feel they are with a lot less stigma against it. So, for my generation, what was it like back then? I remember, and I've said this in other videos, but I'm going to rehash it a little here. So if you've watched the other ones and I'm going down a path you've heard before, please bear with me, because not everybody has. I remember as far back as being like 4 or 5 years old, and people say, how can you remember that far back? Trust me, with this particular stuff, I remember like it was yesterday. And I remember being that young and watching my younger sister. I had 2 younger sisters, but one was at least, one was at that age, one was like a baby, and the other one was just old enough to be getting into dresses. And I remember Christmas time, they're getting dolls. And I wanted the dolls. And I asked. And I got a whooping for asking from my dad. And then that same year, Easter comes along, and they get the dresses. They get the dresses with the petticoats, and they're pink dresses. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. So now that I got a beating at Christmas, the way I'm going about it, I'm going to my mother now. I'm not going to get my dad involved in this. I ain't going down that path again. So I go to my mom and say, Mom, what do you think? Could I do that? And Mom was, yeah, no, honey, you can't do that. And as a matter of fact, You can never ask for anything like that ever again. It won't end well for you or me. Now, as young as I was, that stuck with me. That defined where I went forward from there. I was having feelings that were not accepted, were not going to be allowed. I couldn't express my feelings. I couldn't be me. But me wasn't going away. Me got worse. I remember several years later, they'd leave the house. I get dressed up. I remember one time I almost got caught, and they came home, and I had 35 seconds to get makeup and my mother's fall out of my hair and a big evening gown off of me and cleaned up before I was found out. I was never so scared and excited at the same time. But the point is that it didn't go away. It was there, but I couldn't share it with anybody. I couldn't tell anybody. It was taboo. It was wrong. I couldn't have these feelings, and the fact that I couldn't make them go away, I couldn't tell anybody. What a different world that was from what the world is today. I'm sure there's plenty of people who listen to my videos who can relate to that. And then for the younger people, they probably are like, what are you talking about? I just do what I want. Doesn't matter. I can choose to do it or not do it. Well, that's the difference between the world today and the world back then. It's amazing. So along with the review of, then versus now, I thought I'd review a little bit about this year. We've made an extraordinarily large number of videos this year. I have gotten an amazing amount of feedback, which I greatly appreciate. And we plan to do a lot more videos coming in 2023. As we have a website as well, we hope to expand information on our website this coming year. We also take our videos and we put them up as podcasts. We do that as well. MyTransgenderNation is a 501(c) nonprofit, and we exist for the purpose of educating and supporting the transgender community. We have a long-term goal to help the underprivileged within our community to further their lives because there's so many of us who are not in a place that is good financially, and because they are transgender, they end up in a really bad way and on so many different levels. Some of them need help with housing. Some of them need help with clothing. Some of them want assistance in transitioning, and we want to find ways that we can help the underprivileged within our community. So that is our long-term goal for our nonprofit. We do take donations. If you go to our website, there is a link there that you can donate to our nonprofit. If you are somebody who is financially well off and want to help us to succeed, would greatly appreciate any help we can get. The other thing that I always ask for, and I get some feedback on, but definitely not enough, is I need to hear from all of you more than I am already. Don't be shy, guys. Come on, you can join in. Let's get the conversation going a little better. What do you want me to talk about? What do you want to hear about? I've had several people that gave me great ideas, and I jump on them right away. If somebody gives me a really good idea for a video, I'm all over it. If I like it and I think it's appropriate, I'm happy to accommodate. So I want to hear from more of you on that. So let's work on that in 2023, please. Be a little bit more interactive. I'm also thinking about maybe finding a way that we could do maybe a live event where I can get people, schedule the event, let people know when I'm going to do it, and see if I can get people to interact with me in the present. So I would love feedback on whether or not you would like to see that happen. Let me know what your thoughts on that as well. As always, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to our channel, and let your friends know about it as well. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify as a podcast. We're everywhere you need to be. I think we're now on TikTok too. One of my people in our organization has set up our TikTok channel so that we can actually promote our YouTube videos. So you can find snippets on TikTok as well, apparently. And if there's not a lot there yet, I know there'll be more coming with that. Okay, that's enough for today. I hope you all have a great holiday season, and I will hope to hear from you really soon. And we will talk to you again in the very near future. Okay, bye-bye.